that midfield of Real Madrid will control the pace of the game. And so it is up to Casemiro, Kroos and Modric, who at their very best, when they play well and they play well together, they are the best in the world in those positions.
Don, you're not buying what Ali's selling?
No, I think Ali's been a little bit romantic of how Toni Kroos and Modric were playing probably 3 or 4 or 5 years ago. They were exceptional. But I would never swap Liverpool's midfield three for that three right now.
I don't care how romantic Don thinks I'm being right now. There's no chance that the midfield three of Real Madrid is inferior to that midfield three.
No,
let me be romantic. If I want to be romantic, let me be romantic.
I think if it's on paper and you look at the romantic names of Kroos and Casemiro and Modric, you go, my word, that is a midfield three. When it comes to playing against Liverpool's midfield three, I don't see them getting on the ball. I think we'll smother them.
We had so many tweets after Real Madrid's win against Liverpool about that debate. Here's just a selection. Please bring in Ali and Don. We need to discuss midfield romance, how the athleticism and legs of the Liverpool midfield will outplay the old and tired Real Madrid. Does Ali have any words for Don, who called him romantic for thinking Madrid, with a better midfield and European pedigree, would win the match? Ask Don which is more important in a midfield player, the amount of talent, if he's got legs, or just the romantic names. Of course, we had to bring Don to the show to discuss this. Don Hutchison.
Well, I mean, where did Naby Keita come from? Where did Jurgen Klopp say, I know what I'll do. I'm going to play Gini van Alden and I'm going to play Fabinho. I'm going to drop Thiago. I'm not going to play Curtis Jones or James Milner. I'm going to put Naby Keita in, who's hardly played this season. Where did that come from?
Don, how good were Real Madrid's midfield three?
Well, they were good, but they weren't that good. I mean, listen, Toni Kroos' ball
They were good.
was exceptional. No, they were good, but they weren't outstanding. It wasn't like that midfield three controlled Liverpool's midfield three, and that was the difference of the whole game. Vinicius Jr. tore Trent Alexander-Arnold apart. No, Vinicius Jr. tore Trent apart. They were exceptional all over the pitch, and Liverpool's possession was shocking. So, of course, you give Toni Kroos the ball and you give Modric the ball, and they're thinking, what's happening here? They haven't even got the legs to win it back because they're playing Naby Keita. Gini van Alden was way off in the first half. And it just played into Real Madrid's hands. In the end, Ali was absolutely spot on, but no one in the world would have predicted Naby Keita starting that game.
So, Don, looking ahead to this second leg, would you still prefer the Liverpool midfield?
Well, I would, yes, because if they can try and play how they usually play by smothering...
It's getting worse.
You can't just say... It's not getting worse. Right,
Take the
pull the plug.
No,
Get the parachute out.
I'm not. I'm not at all.
Taxi.
I'm not at all.
So,
I'll stand by what I said. I'll stand by what I said. If Liverpool's midfield three get close to those three, they stop them from playing. If they let them have the ball, of course Modric is not going to give the ball away. Of course Toni Kroos is not going to give the ball away. They had it easy.
We should have had Don Hutchison on the show tonight. He would have explained it better.
I should have been the manager. Jan.
Stevie, you used to play for Liverpool like Don. Do you see it the same as he does?
Do you know, I really was trying to help him. I'm thinking, how can I help Don here?
Right.
And the only thing I could come up with is, if it was 2 years ago when it was Henderson, Fabinho and Wijnaldum at the best, then he could have an argument. But I'm sorry, Don, after that, I can't back you up with anything.
No, I know you're right. You're right in what you're saying. But then why wouldn't Jurgen Klopp know this? So why would he play Naby Keita and not say James Milner?
Well, here's the thing.
Away from home against Real Madrid.
Don, here's the thing.
These dogs had enough.
His options, right? His options weren't particularly great. Let's be honest. You know, James Milner's playing less and less. Yes, I would probably agree. Curtis Jones would have been the one for me. But then the fact is that he's complaining about players being tired, and if one guy's not tired, it's Naby Keita. I mean, it didn't work, that's for sure, but...
Let's take a look at the odds, shall we, for Liverpool to advance to the next round, despite the fact they are 3-1 down going into that second leg at Anfield. No surprise, Real Madrid, big favourites. Liverpool 11-4. Don, what percentage do you give Liverpool to go through?
Well, if they play the way they did against Real Madrid, they've got no chance.
Well, yes.
They've got zero
They
chance.
lost 3-1, so
at all.
Yep.
No, they've got zero chance.
Even if
the
they win-
performance was a mile off. Jurgen Klopp was right. Jurgen Klopp was right after the game when he said, listen, mistakes can happen. And mistakes can happen. But the level of performance in the first 20 minutes was atrocious. Liverpool have prided themselves for decades on keeping hold of the ball. Then I think what was more worrying is in the second half when Mo Salah scored, surely the Liverpool players must have smelt the game and know the game where they think, how on earth are we only 2-1 behind? Take a 2-1 and take them back to Anfield.
So 0%?
If they play the same.
Well, yes, if they play the same, obviously,
0%.
but they're not going to play that badly, are they?
Well, I don't know how they're going to play. Would it stun you? Would it absolutely stun you if Liverpool beat them 2-0? Because it wouldn't stun me.
But that is not
So
a
we've gone from
0%.
0% to Liverpool winning 2-0.
No, what I'm trying to say, Dan, is if Liverpool liven up and play to their maximum, it wouldn't surprise me if Liverpool beat them 2-0. If they play like they did in the first game, no chance.
So, taking all these factors into consideration, what percentage chance would you give Liverpool of advancing to the semi-finals?
Well, Daniel, I've not got a crystal ball. I don't know how Liverpool are going to play. I don't know what their level of performance is going to be like.
Dan,
So why do we do this show? Why even bother previewing games when you could just say, well, I don't know what sort of side's going to turn up?
Daniel, I played with a guy at Sheffield United. I played with a guy at Sheffield United called Don Hutchison.
Right.
He had a great vision. And he saw forward. He made great passes. I wonder what happened to that guy. I haven't seen him for a while.
He got divorced.
No. Ali's just absolutely owned me in the first leg. I've got no comeback. I've got to give props to Ali. He called it.
Yes, but we're moving on from that now, and I'm asking you a question, Don, that you seem to be really struggling to answer.
No, I'm not. Well, how can I try and put an argument when I'm sitting here?
I don't want an argument. I want you to say Liverpool have got a 20% chance of advancing.
No, I'd give them a little bit more than that. I would say I will give them 30%.
Right.
Okay, good. And how much will you give Real Madrid?
70.
Hey! Oh my goodness.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.